Today I have got 5 top tips to help you protect your soil over the winter. Not only are they free, but there's one coming up at the end that I think might very well surprise you. Okay, so first of all, let's have a little think. Why on earth does the soil in our garden need protecting? You've got to think, all year round, when we're in our garden, we are growing crops, we are growing vegetables, we are growing flowers, and this soil is there providing a medium for those things to grow well. As soon as it comes to this time of year, so we're in November now, the plants have died back, the leaves have fallen, and the soil is basically naked. So whereas it's had that protection of greenery all year, it is now in a naked state, and it is there for all that the elements are going to throw at it. So it is going to have severe temperatures, it is going to have rain, it is going to have flooding, and all these things help to erode the soil, wash away nutrients. And what we want to try and do is mimic Mother Nature by just giving it a layer of protection. So what can we use? The first thing we can do is look around it, see what Mother Nature has done, and take a tip from her, which is basically cover the whole thing with leaves. One of the beauties of this time of year is the country walks, the scenery, where the leaves have changed colours, they've fallen to the ground, they're crunching under your feet. And it's not just that they're dead and the tree has forgotten with them, they are then continuing with their importance by adding that layer of protection to the soil and gradually being recycled and decomposing into the soil itself. Now, I'm not suggesting for a moment that you go and pick up all the leaves from your local countryside, but at this time of year you'll find that the pavements, the driveways, the pathways surrounding where you live will have gathered an ample amount of leaves, ample enough to share around and spread right over your beds to create a gorgeous, warm, protective duvet for the cold, cold winter ahead. The next thing that we can consider using are our very own grass clippings. Now, I've collected these from the grass box off my mower at home, and you can see that they have dried out quite nicely. They are not sticking together, and I can now use them to layer about 1 inch deep on some bare soil. Now, as you can see, these are nice and dry and loose. The danger is when you put grass clippings over your soil as a mulch, they can get very, very damp and form a cap which prevents any moisture at all getting to the soil. So make sure that it's in a nice, dry, loose condition. The next tip involves something that we have probably all used in our garden at some time or another, because it is really the gardener's friend, the good old cardboard. There are so many different ways these days of getting hold of some, and its value in the garden is simple, straightforward and free. The only thing I would advise with cardboard is make sure before you lay it down that you have got rid of any plastic, either sellotape type stuff or packaging like this, because yes, you can leave it on, but it's not going to do your soil any good. It's not going to decompose, and why not do it now rather than in the spring when you think everything's already done for you. What I will do before I put this on is take out those perennial weeds. Let's see, we've got a dandelion there, we've actually got a bit of a tomato there. Fortunately, this is our no-dig bed, so it's fantastic tops soil, and if I just get that, I should not have to touch the leaves themselves. There we go. Right, okay, everything else I'm leaving in there, and I'm literally, even though this is a weird shape and you might think, oh no, it's the wrong shape for that bed, all I need to do is lay it down like that, and I can just play about with the bits and fill in gaps as and when. This cardboard itself will provide a lovely environment for worms to come up and feast underneath, and what's more then, they will leave you with some nice worm casts, which in themselves will help to improve the soil structure and the soil nutrient structure for next year. I am just going to bed this down with a little bit of water so it has no temptation, and pondweed apparently, it has no temptation whatsoever to blow away. There we go, simple as. Tip 4 is to have a little look around for some eco packaging. More and more companies are becoming aware of the need for their packaging to become not only recyclable but decomposable, compostable as well. And one of the best examples of this is this wool packaging that's a byproduct from the sheep and wool industry and is used as a perfect insulation on things like food. But the great thing about it is it can be reused in a myriad of different ways. And one of the ways I'm going to use it is to layer up the garden. And if you can manage to get hold of these, you will see just how easy it is to use. These come in strips, so you can see there that is exactly the right width for my bed, and all we need to do is lie them next to each other, and they will be protecting the soil from the harsh elements of everything winter can throw at it, but also as they rot down they will be providing that little bit of extra structure within the soil that we know is oh so important for healthy plants. If you were worried about them blowing away, you could either put a couple of pegs in or put a couple of stones or bricks on top, but for me, I think once we get some rain on them, they are going to bond quite easily with the soil beneath and they'll soon rot down. So that's 4 top tips for you to provide some soil protection for free. But what about the 5th? What about this surprise tip that I've been keeping up my sleeve? Are you ready? So come on, Jane, what's this tip you've got up your sleeve that you've been teasing us about? Well, here it is. Do you see where I'm standing? Can you see what I'm surrounded by? Apart from the odd carrot, this bed is going to be left to go to weed, because weeds are nature's way of providing her own soil cover over summer, winter, whatever time of year. You know, as soon as you get your soil nice and weed free, you blink and you look back and it's covered again, because she is trying to protect the soil below. So if you leave your weeds to grow, obviously if you've got any really pernicious weeds or really nasty perennials that you want to dig out, dig them out. But your annual weeds will be dying off anyway, but your light weeds that you know you are going to be able to get rid of fairly easily in the spring, leave them to it. The only thing I would say is make sure that once the weather conditions do start to warm up next year, that you get out here with your hoe and you get them under control before they take over. But for the winter, they are providing that lovely green cover for your soil. So don't be too much in a rush to go out and get rid of them. So there we are, 5 top tips as to how to protect your soil for free, one of which I'm sure is hugely arguable. Let me know in the comments below what you use. See you soon.